Welcome back to the show. Terrifying footage has shown the moment a Melbourne woman on her way to work was brazenly stabbed in broad daylight. Her attacker, who we now understand was out on bail, comes from behind, looks her in the eyes and proceeds to plunge a knife straight into her chest. This is Australia. Now as the victim, Wan Lai, recovers from a punctured lung, her sister is speaking out, revealing Wan doesn't dare to go outside anymore. She's always on guard and can't even stand people walking behind her. ALP President Wayne Swan and Independent MP Dai Le join me now to discuss. Guys, good morning. Wayne,
good morning.
I was so shocked by this, the random brutality of it.
Well, it's very confronting and it demands a whole-of-government response. Bail laws have to be on the table. Jack's Law, which has been introduced up here in Queensland, is another initiative. But I think we should all be concerned about this outbreak of crime, particularly youth crime, which is not exclusive to Victoria. We've seen various versions of it around the country. So you've got to crack down on it, but you've also got to crack down on the causes as well. This
reminded me of that terrible attack in the New York subway. Di, for months we've been reporting on the law and order issues facing Victoria, law and order.
Yep.
What more should the government be doing?
Look, I think, like you, it's just such shocking image and footage of a woman walking and being stabbed like that. I think we've talked about this constantly.
Yeah.
I think about toughening the bail, the law, and not releasing people out. Like people can walk away so easily and on bail. So I think something has to be done around that. And yes, we do need to look at the root cause of especially youth crime that I know that I hear reports about that's happening in Victoria. It's so concerning why that's happening. Perhaps we need to have some kind of Australian Defence Force program to get some of those kids off the street and having some kind of program to ensure that they are active, being disciplined, to have some kind of activities. That way they can put them on the path to proper, behaviour.
You have to keep, it's beholden upon governments to keep their people safe. Wayne, at some point, does Jacinda Allen's inability to do so call into question her leadership?
Well, youth crime is a huge problem, not just in Victoria, but right around the country. But if action needs to be taken on bail laws in Victoria, then it should. And also, there are other initiatives, like Jack's Law, which applies in Queensland. Some people will question that, but there's a whole range of things that need to be done. And there's not one simple magic solution.
All right, moving on. Australian military chiefs are considering putting boots on the ground in Gaza, or at least they're part of the discussion. Di, is that something we really need to be doing, do you think?
Can I say, first of all, it's wonderful to hear that there's approaching some kind of peace. Being the first person to have called, MP to have called for a ceasefire when I first elected, to see this happening is great. Can I say we're proud of our Defence Force, their involvement in past complex and issues. Look, people that are needed on the ground, I think, are some, countries around who understand the historical context and cultural context should be involved in that peacekeeping. But I have no doubt that we can play a role, but it is not our responsibility.
Yeah, I think I agree. Wayne, we always do our bit, but surely other countries closer to the conflict would be putting their hands up first.
Well, Australia has always been a good international citizen, and we've contributed to peacekeeping forces right around the world under both parties. And I'd like to see us contribute this time. We've voiced our opinions. Well, that's up to the negotiation by the federal government with the authorities there. But, we've expressed our views strongly about Gaza. We've all been horrified by what has happened. Every Australian has an opinion about it. And as a good international citizen, we could contribute to a peacekeeping force, and that would be entirely consistent with the best traditions of the Australian military.
All right, Wayne, I need to get you on this. Unemployment is on the up, and Michelle Bullock says we need to get our house debt in order. Your old sparring partner, Swanee, she did not miss.
Well, I don't know that it was that direct. Unemployment at 4.5 is still relatively low, and we had an increased participation rate as well. But when it comes to the Reserve Bank, it's about time that it followed its charter, which is for full employment. So it'd be great to see a rate cut pretty soon.
There you go. Entered the fray. You entered the fray again. Hey, just finally, Southeast Queenslanders are actually they're backing plans now to become part of Brizzy ahead of the Olympics. Swanee, I did need to get you on this because you were so supportive of the idea last week when it was first flagged. What do you think, truthfully, your heart of hearts?
Well, I don't think anyone in Southeast Queensland is going to relate to the term Greater Brisbane. You know, we're Queenslanders first and foremost, and that's how we should be promoting the Olympics.
There you go. Thanks so much, guys. Have yourself a great weekend. Appreciate it.
Thank you.